ready to open up our Clinton Parks and Recreation meeting for February 12th, 2025. We're going to stand for the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. In looking over the minutes, I would like to table the acceptance of the CPR and the Fuller Field meeting minutes, page 1/8/25, until a review, like a video review, recording can be viewed in order to clarify wording on 2 items. So I just need a second for that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Facilities update, do you have any from Brian? Is it in there?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Where is it?
it's, so the packet with the agendas, it's the 3rd page.
Yep. Okay, so for Parks and Rec, Carl Allen Park, $45,000 remaining for the FY '24 warrant article. Going to revisit a conversation with the benches and lighting, the location and quantity. I think we got that set though.
Yes,
Waiting on a map for placement of benches so concrete slabs can be poured to spring of 2025.
so we can put that on the agenda for next month, and we'll have actually
The map?
where you guys want them. Yep.
Okay. And then Central Park, there's nothing to report. The skate park is the $45,000 from the ARPA funding
I
for
have a
skate
question
park
about
upgrades.
this.
Hold on. Approved, scheduled for this week, weather permitting. So what's happening there is the new fencing around the entire park was approved for $29,242, scheduled for spring of 2025, and the tree and shrub removal around the current fencing has been completed for $5,000. It was completed in 12/31/2024. Total spent was $34,242. And then Acre Park, nothing new to report, looking for a new solution for the water overflow, which we knew about that, the splash pad. He's gonna meet with the contractor this month to discuss options, potential pave or concrete section where the overflow puddles accumulate, and looking to complete in the spring of 2025 prior to opening season, which is Memorial Day, right? Yes. And then Parks and Rec, building, painting of event room approved.
Just touching up over here where we have our basketball hoop.
Yeah. Scheduled to be completed within the next couple of weeks. The event room for stripped and waxed to be completed within the next couple of weeks.
I think they're actually gonna try to do that at the end of this week, so
Okay.
that should be good.
Are you having a February,
Yes, that'll be
Yeah.
next week.
and they'll do this after the camp?
They're trying, so my understanding is they're gonna have a hard time scheduling it at the end of this month, so they wanna do it,
Before the camp?
yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
It'll get used anyway, so.
Okay. So that's Brian's update.
I have some comments on the skate
ahead.
park. So since we spent 34 grand on the fence, I was down there today checking it out. I saw they already have some of the poles in the ground. Just looks good. I'm curious if we're going to actually address the skate park itself, and what do we plan on doing with the additional 11,000 that we have remaining? I'm hoping that we can put it toward like a structure or something. I looked at the surrounding skate parks that are popular, and we have the fewest structures in any town around surrounding that has a skate park. So I was hoping, that some of this money would go toward actually benefiting the people that use the skate park, and get some new things in there for them, some new structures, some new it can be as simple as a rail. If you don't know what a rail is, it's just simply a pipe welded and cemented into the ground. Probably costs about $20. So I mean, there is really cheap ways to that we can
I don't mean to interrupt you,
And
but
then-
did Brian address that, the extra money that was gone?
So I think
Because of its being this
it
year's
has to
fiscal,
specifically go towards safety, like lighting, the fence,
So
like
why would we have lighting if it's not open at night? That doesn't, I don't understand that.
it's safety.
No, what she's saying is it can only go towards that kind of
Yeah.
stuff,
right,
not specific.
so we would have to have a new budget for what you're talking about.
I think we
So I
discussed
think-
last month, maybe seal coating the whole thing.
Right, so I read that, I saw that in the meeting, I was gonna also mention on that, I think if we're going to, propose adding, sealing the cement, or the pavement there and whatnot to the capital projects list, I think we should probably also include enhancing the skate park for the benefit of the kids using it. And I mean, I think that we could have probably saved some, I mean, originally, the reason there was an 8-foot fence there is because it was the tennis court and, you know, the ball could fly it. But I mean, replacing an 8-foot fence with an 8-foot fence, I think we could have probably saved money there. I think we could look closer at these things before we actually allocate the money to it, so we can have yeah, I mean, we only have a limited amount of money, 45 grand, it's not that much, so I,
Also next to like the baseball and softball field, and I think that contributes to the purpose of the 8-foot fence.
well, they have a fence too, though, they have a huge,
Yeah, people hit it over that fence. It's called the
I
home
mean,
run.
yeah, but it's probably pretty rare that it's gonna go into the skate park or hit, I mean, I don't think that's a reason to have an 8-foot fence at a skate, I think it's also like, I talked to a couple people on it, like parents aren't able to like sit around and watch the parents don't wanna go inside of a caged in area with a bunch of kids skating and stuff, they wanna be able to see their kids. And I think they should be able to like talk about the fence and whatnot, I don't know, but I mean, that ship has sailed, I'm just saying, I think we could look closer at these things and probably save some money so we can allocate more toward, like I said, actually benefiting the kids and
This
in the
money
community.
has to be allocated towards safety.
No, I understand, right, I'm just saying.
You'd have to do a whole thing.
I think, so what I'm saying is I think if we're going to add sealing and whatnot to the capital projects list, I think we should also include enhancing, the park itself, adding structures, replacing horribly damaged structures. I mean, they don't even have a quarter pipe anymore, they used to, they don't have kids had to build their own things down there because the town wouldn't, I mean, it's pretty sad that the kids have to do this stuff, but that's why I'm proposing that we add to the capital projects,
They
enhancing the park as well as,
I don't know if you remember either, they did come to a meeting and like ask nicely for us to not to change.
they asked if they could build their own
And I've-
structures and whatnot.
That's not what they were asking. They
Yeah.
were asking us not to touch the skate park as it is right now.
Well, I think that's
And
to the, I mean,
so I've been in communication with them.
from
like-
everything, everyone that I've talked to down there, and personally, I used to, when I was younger, use the skate park. I mean, from what I know, I mean, there's a lot of damage to the half pipe. The quarter pipe was so damaged that they threw it away, got rid of it, so that's one less structure. There's literally one rail, one ramp, 2 ramps, I think.
So if
and
I
it's
could
just-
interrupt you,
It's just
Joe,
not adequate.
and
for-
make a
it's
suggestion?
it's just not adequate for, I think we should try to put funding toward enhancing the park
Okay,
before, if we're also putting money into beautifying it and, you know,
Well, the
putting up.
money's going towards safety.
But, well,
It's not.
all right,
Okay,
I have a
safety.
suggestion. I
whatnot.
think that if, that would be great if we could beautify it and make it better for the kids, definitely. But the last time we tried doing something, they came in and they were upset because we did change things around, so.
Well, that was
if
because
you-
we cleaned up
let
some
me
of the
finish.
things that, will you interrupt
me
me?
finish.
I just wanna finish my thought.
But I'm
They-
chair, so
that was
let me
because-
finish.
That was because they cleaned
So
up
I'm
some
gonna
of the
continue.
things that they wanted to like jump over and
So,
stuff, but it was dangerous. It
If
was
you
pretty
are
bad.
frequenting the park and going down there and you see some of these kids, why don't you advise them to, write up some kind of proposal of things that they would like to see.
I don't think the
and-
kids at the skate park are
and
really
bring-
down
Well, they
down
know,
to sit there and write things up.
No,
and
but
so-
they
you know,
have.
they're-
yeah,
I know
they
they
said,
have.
and you're saying all these things that I don't know
I've
about
gone
skate
down
park.
there.
They should know what they want, if they want
Well,
this
that's
pipe
why-
or that
that's why
pipe,
I'm
and they can
speaking
bring
for
it to Mackenzie, and then you can bring it to us and we
Well,
can put it in the budget.
That's what I'm here for, Patty. That's why I suggested we could put in rails, super cheap. We could get cement. We could make it so that the children of this town aren't doing the job that we're supposed to be doing, like building structures.
But they said it at that last.
No, they said that they
meeting,
didn't. No, they said that they didn't want the cement blocks and the rebar and whatnot cleaned up. That was an extreme safety
But I
hazard and a
believe you
huge
can do it
liability
from
to.
the
And excuse me, I'm talking.
Joe.
I have the floor,
Joe,
please. I have the
stop,
floor. No, please. I
No.
have the floor,
You
please.
have the,
Please,
you've had
I
the
have
floor
the-
for 10 minutes.
Mike,
You've been
please.
saying the
Mike,
same
please.
thing
I
over
have
and
the
over.
floor.
We
Please.
understand what
Mike,
you're saying.
please. I have the floor.
Well, I'm gonna ask you to stop for a moment.
I'm
And
sorry.
I just wanna reiterate that at that meeting back in 2022,
Isn't
when they
right.
came in, they were specifically instructed to
So these
come
kids-
to the Parks and Recreation with things that they wanted added to it if they needed it. And I think that if you
I'm
have the
speaking
expertise in
for
it,
them. I'm
that you
like,
could guide them.
literally.
So Joe,
speaking
if
This
you're
for
in
these
contact with them, why don't you have them come to a meeting? and talk to
They're
Okay, I'm
kids
gonna
that
ask
don't
that-
understand meetings and don't know what I'm talking
They
about. when
can't
I'm
sit in
talk-
front of
They
us and
don't.
talk?
They don't get it. They don't
First you're
wanna
saying they
do
can't
that.
write things and now they can't talk?
You think they're gonna go home and type something? I'm not
I'm just using
following,
your
I'm
words,
not
Stuart. I'm
following
just
these
using your
kids home.
words.
I go down there
They
and I
came
talk to
with,
the
they
kids.
came with
I
the
I go
dogs
down
that
there
were
and I
guiding
go
them.
down there and I talk to the kids that are there. I'm not gonna follow them home and
Okay,
ask them
first of
for,
all-
to
So this
typing up
isn't on the
letters.
Who's saying that, Joe?
Wait a minute,
No
I'm
one's saying
gonna-
Can I
I'm gonna
have,
type
can I
up.
have both of you stop for a minute? This
Can I get
this
one
isn't,
typed
discussion wasn't on the agenda.
Right,
We
I wanted to
understand-
revisit this because I,
We understand that,
Because we weren't-
you had what you wanted to say, we understand it, and yes, we
right, so my
can.
proposal is that we add to the capital projects list, not only sealing the skate park, but also enhancing it and adding structures.
But this isn't on the agenda, this is
I
from the,
understand, I'm just
this
trying
is
to
from the,
revisit it because it was spoken when spoken about when I wasn't here because we weren't able to adjust the time of the meeting.
well, it's not on the agenda, this is just,
Right, we don't
recap of-
have old and new
what it is.
business listed on our agenda, so it's really tough to, it's tough to bring it up,
Well, you
bring things up because.
Respond to the email and put it on the agenda.
Well, it's on the
On
update,
Brian's updates, yes.
right, so I
But
figured I can comment.
What you're
on it.
saying,
If
we
it's
understand
on the
what you're
update.
saying, and we're just telling you.
I understand, there's, I
Have them
understand.
formulate a list of some sort, or come to a meeting and talk to us.
It's not their obligation, it's mine, that's why I go down there and
Are
I
you the
talk
keeper
to
of the
them.
skate park?
No, I go down there and talk, I go through, I talk to them, I see what can make the community better, what can make them happier, what can.
You're showboating,
Right.
Joe. We
And-
get it. You're showboating. Like,
I'm what?
you're showboating.
Okay,
You're on
I'm
camera.
gonna ask that we stop
I
and
don't know.
go on
I
to the
don't
next,
know what you're
um,
referring to, Mike.
So
update.
why don't you
for
email
Brian.
and we can add it onto the agenda for the
Yeah.
next month?
Yeah,
And then whoever wants to come in and add a public comment for that, I think that's a great idea, so we can just speed this up a little bit.
thank you,
Okay,
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you, that was very fun, thank you.
you're welcome.
You wanna
Okay.
see how we got argue?
Okay, Acre Park, nothing new to report,
Oh,
I think
boy.
we did that. Oh, we did that, so we're all set with that. We need to go on to Parks and Rec Department update and spring field usage.
Yes, so for department updates, our summer concert lineup is all set. We will have 11 weeks of concerts and food trucks each week, as well as Sterling Street Brewery joining us again. Summer playground programming opened up this past month. We had some slight technical difficulties with our new website, which if you guys haven't checked out yet, I encourage you to take a look. It looks great. And we had over 100 registrations in the first hour, which
Wow.
was awesome.
Nice.
So this year we're going to be using CHS and CMS. So the younger kids that were here last year are going to be at the middle school, which will be awesome, and we can accommodate some of the wait lists that we had last year.
So 100 you had so far, how many are you taking, do you know?
So we started with 50 kids in the Discovery program, which we are going to be able to up this year. We only took 35 last
Is the
year.
Discovery the youngest kids?
Did you say CHS and CMS?
So
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
So the older kids are going to be at the high school.
nice.
So that'll be awesome. And then I have 50 kids for our playground program, which is grades 3 through 5, and then 50 kids for our teen program, which is 6 through 8. So,
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, was that it on updates for that?
and then for the rec manager position, which is what Laura's position was, I met with HR to discuss hiring. The posting will be made this week, hopefully. Everything's done on our end. We're just waiting for the green light from Mike Ward.
Awesome.
Okay, good. All right, how about the Springfield usage?
For Springfield usage, I have the Neshoba schedules in for the most part now. And so next month, I should be able to submit those to you just while she's tying up loose ends. And you guys can come up with a price. And then I sent an email to Call regarding their schedules, just letting them know it's gonna be tight here, and that we have a little bit more flexibility at Vale and Ash Street.
So Call wants to use it, does the high school want to use it?
I sent an email out to the athletic director as well. They usually only use this field for like a throwback game,
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't play here.
so.
Alright.
That shouldn't be a problem.
And everyone else is fitting in here?
Yes,
Okay. And you'll let us know when Call
yes.
gets back to you? Okay. All right, I think that's it for Parks and Rec.
I'm just looking for one clarification. So the 11 grand that hasn't been spent for the skate park is not currently allocated to anything right now, correct?
Brian is
But
not
if you
here, so I
only
can't answer that
allocate it to
question for you.
Yes.
What was that?
So as far as like the allocation of those funds, I don't know if the project is I don't want to speak for Brian, but I don't know if those numbers are an estimate, so they might go up once the work is being done.
Well, the additional money is not currently allocated.
So
I believe he said something about it being put into,
Okay, well, I can
Some other
include that in
kind
the
of
email.
fund.
I know it has to go towards safety, because that's what our ARPA
Right,
funds word out,
right.
but Brian's not here and I don't want to speak for him.
Okay.
So,
because it was the ARPA funds.
So
Correct.
I'll just include that in the email, and I'll obviously add Brian. And,
do as you see fit.
Okay. Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, ended at 6:17. Well, 2025 Ford Field Commission meeting at 6:18. The review and acceptance of the January 8th minute meetings, I'm going to ask again to table that, just like the other ones, same thing. The acceptance of the minutes until a review, the video recording can be, in order to clarify some wording on two items that were put in both of them. And Mackenzie will have them ready for us next meeting as well.
Second.
Okay, and Joe second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, facilities update. It's from Brian. So the main baseball field, I have a meeting Wednesday, 2/13, so it happened
Okay.
today,
No.
tomorrow. In the Neshoba director, athletic director and facilities manager discussing expectations for the field maintenance. And I'm sure he'll get back to us on that. The restroom and concession repairs, nothing new to report. Looking to add sliding windows to the main sections of the concession stand so it can be easily opened and closed during sporting events. Once that's complete and the interior is cleaned out, it will be operational. There's $3,857 remaining from the FY 24 warrant article for spring of 2025. And the field house restrooms concession stands were all weatherized for winter. Now, the future field house repairs and operating budget is ongoing for the heating, the furnace repairs, and the interior and exterior painting. And that should be done in spring of 2025. Future improvements for the FY 26 budget is the ticket booth to paint and reinforce structure. Work will be discussed in finalizing scope, the scoreboard, replace football scoreboard and get operational. And the big diamond press box, looking to repair press box. Material work might be donated, looking to get an estimate for basic repairs for the spring of 2025. So that's Brian's update. I'm sure he'll be able to give us a better update next time too. And going through, coming up with a date for the site walk through for full concession stand and field house, we need to set a date.
Yeah.
I'll do that now, between now and our next meeting.
Sure. We could do it for the next meeting, it just has to go on the agenda.
Say it again?
We could do it for the next meeting as well, it just has to go on the agenda.
Oh, okay. So that will, okay, and our next meeting is March, you know what,
It may still be cold.
March 12th. It's the second Wednesday of the month. So,
Do we want to do it?
what does everyone feel like doing it that day, March 12th?
I'm good with that. Will we do it just before the meeting?
We could do it at the very end of the meeting too, whatever works. So go through all the items and then we can.
Probably the beginning of the meeting,
We could do that.
we'll still be doing it all.
So we could maybe schedule it for a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm back in time.
What else should
You what,
I didn't just get back in time.
at 6? All right, well, we'll just,
Unless we do it like 5:45.
Either way.
all right,
You said March 12th, right?
Yep.
Next meeting.
that's the second Wednesday of the month, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so 5:45 we'll start the meeting with a walkthrough.
Sure. When I'm submitting the agendas, I'll just do 5:45 walk through, and then I'll submit a separate agenda for 6 p.m.
Okay,
for here. But as long as it starts after 6 p.m., we're fine.
okay, so 3:12, 5:45, just walkthrough. All right, and the next thing on Fuller Field Commission is the concession stand rental agreement, discussion of requirements.
So is that meeting gonna be start earlier or?
5:45. We're gonna do a walkthrough over there.
Just, okay, so just switching it.
All
That
right,
in my calendar right now.
concession stand rental agreement, you have to come up with the policy, I know, correct?
Yes, so this is more for if anybody has anything pressing they wanna add to it, and then for next meeting, I'll write it up and put it in the same format as our other rental documents.
Okay, can I just ask this question about, it's under the Fuller Field Commission, should it be under Parks and Rec? Because isn't that what, like, you manage the,
I think
Part of
so.
Fuller Field.
I don't-
it is part of Fuller Field, but she does, the rentals come from Parks and Rec Department. I don't
I'll
know.
run it past town hall and ask them what they think, and then we'll put it on the appropriate agenda for next month.
Okay, because I just think if you're doing rentals for everything else through Parks and Rec, you
That's true.
just go through with that. Because eventually this,
It should all be under one, yeah.
all right, any other questions on that concession stand rental agreement?
If anybody has any suggestions or anything before,
What are we gonna do as far as cleaning it?
see, that's part of the,
I think it should probably be incumbent on the people who use it.
yeah.
Well, like using it, like, I think, we gotta look at that, who's gonna be able to use it, it is ours. You know, do we wanna rent it out, or do we want to have your, employees run it through the rental, so that we know what's going on in there at all times?
Do you have seasonal staff that are often looking for hours as well?
What's that thing,
And then just think, how we-
budget wise, would that be work with you? Like having the.
I'd
payment
have
more?
to look at that, but it would be a revenue builder too, so that's something to.
Well, I'm just thinking of different concession stands that, when, my kids were growing up and we worked at them, like, you had to have, the people that were in charge of it had to be there. And, like, I'm thinking Girl Scouts, so, the kids would come and help, but the people that were in charge of it were there to make sure that, things were running
Yeah,
smoothly.
that's
And
true.
that, if something was broken, how did it get broken? Was it broken because of overuse, or was it broken because of someone not knowing how to use it? And
That's definitely something that we'll have to consider going into making those.
yeah, so I think that's a thought, yeah. Do you know any other concession stands, like what their procedures are?
I know, talking to some of the other parks and rec in the area during the regional meetings, like Doyle Field, they don't rent theirs out.
Who runs it? Parks and Rec?
Their rec department. So that's a big one. I believe some of the bigger ones in Worcester, some of the, like, they'll rent it out, but it doesn't have anything in it. So that's also something to consider. But it's really dependent on like how we want to staff it.
Are we gonna be walking through there too?
Yeah.
Like what's in there now? Is there cooking stuff then?
No, there's like a table.
I mean, really, what are we worried about breaking?
This is
It's not like
Yeah.
stoves and air fryers.
I mean, we'd like to eventually put stuff in there
Yeah.
though, so that's the
No, when I was on the board before, I hooked up all the plumbing in the kitchen over there. And the people that worked in there, they were involved, their children were playing there, but they were in the kitchen, getting, selling food and everything else, and that's how they did it. The only problem was that towards the end there, everybody kinda,
yeah.
But-
It'll really depend on what we end up putting in there too. So
Yeah, well, I think it's something to consider, because if you're gonna put the money into it,
yeah.
you wanna make sure the upkeep is there, you wanna have your eyes on it.
Definitely.
Okay. Any other thoughts? If not, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you next meeting, 3/12, 5:45.